Okay, so next we have Takagi Suneo from JDSF, and he is the JDSF Board Vice President, Vice Chairman Director, Global Business Development Department, UniEdX Limited. And so we have a recording available from him. We'll play that recording. That's going to be a talk on data connected through standard organizations. We have another speakers like Kinaya Saito from, JDSF Fujitsu, and Prakash Ramchandran from CCICI. He is a member advisor CCICI. And then Leon Young from CCICI. He is the director of research office. So let's start with the first video. I'll just.
Back. Thank you for.
Hey, Anvit, we were missing you. Yes.
I'm sorry about that, folks, but as is the new normal, I did face some technical issues today and I just got dropped off the call. But as Ashish said, let's get on with the next talk. And first up on your screens now are Takagi Suneo and Kinya Saito of JDSF.
Okay, now Saito will explain the history of fiber channel appeal activities.
Ashit, I'm not seeing the video.
No screen, Ashit. Please share the screen.
And the audio, kindly share the audio from the video. While Ashit gets that sorted, let me remind you we have a raffle coming up. And that raffle is also going to be a big one. We're going to give away Apple AirPods Pro. So if you've not signed in back yet, please do so. Over to you, Ashit.
Just give me a minute. I think again the audio issues are coming.
Ashit, you want me to share?
Yes, Anil, because the audio issues are coming again by sharing.
Okay, let me just check. 1 second.
As I was saying, until we get that sorted, we do have another raffle coming up post these sessions. So make sure you stick around. And if you logged out, then if you're not hearing this, ask your friends to inform you. Okay, then.
You are able to see my desktop?
Yes.
Yes, Anil.
How about the audio?
Okay, now Saito
is coming?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Here we go.
Will explain the history of fiber channel appeal activities of the JDSF. My name is Kinya Saito. As a member of the Japan Data Storage Forum Board, I am involved in education and promotion of storage networking technology, including fiber channel. I lead the Storage Elemental Technology Group at the JDSF. Now I work in Fujitsu Limited. Let's start with a brief history of the Japan Data Storage Forum. JDSF started in 1997 as a first storage group in Japan. The purpose is to contribute to the development of the storage market between customers and manufacturers. We have started exploration of fiber channel marketing at the Japan branch of FCIA. This activity continues under the name Fiber Channel Technology Working Group, Storage Networking Technology Working Group, and now Storage Elemental Technology Working Group. In December 2019, JDSF joined SODA Forum in Tokyo. Our goal is to work with FCIA to promote the technology and merit of fiber channel to the Japanese market. Its main activities include participation in exhibition, provision of technical information to system engineers, holding workshop and verification of interconnections. This page is a part of the history of fiber channel educations. From 1997 to 2010 is a period from the launch of fiber channel in Japanese market. We publish the fiber channel technical books. We performed live demo of fiber channel interoperability. Since 2010, fiber channel has become more popular in Japan, and we are conducting roadmap information and technology seminars to support more complex and high-performance systems in Japan. I remember I used to use these fiber channel technical books for my working. In the case of fiber channel fabric arbitration loop protocol, I used to use this book in the operation or the trace is correct or not. I believe this book makes me more good fiber channel engineer. JDSF also holds a technical seminar on fiber channel related storage networking technologies. Examples include FCIP, NPIV, FCOE, and iSCSI. Although the use of iSCSI in the Japanese market is expanding later than in the United States, we have provided reports on the performance testing of 1 Gbps and the design and configuration information of 1 Gbps and 10 Gbps mixed. Basically, we provide the protocol detail, but sometimes we did our POC testing ourselves. As for the future of the storage networking activity at the JDSF, the education of fiber channel and related technologies will continue. From 2020, we will focus on providing technical information of NVMe technology, which is also attracting attention in the enterprise storage field. So let's introduce another activities at JDSF. SAT, Storage Applied Technology Working Group. The activities of SAT Working Group consider the ideal way of data and storage from a data-driven perspective. SAT Working Group read white paper published by the government, consider how storage should be, and inform the result of seminar or JDSF website. So next activity is SMS, Storage Management Technology Working Group. The activities of SMS Working Group investigate and examine the ideal way of data management and summarize it. SMS is considering the optimal data management method from the type and the usage of data for the utilization of data. SMS also consider data types, optimal storage locations, and data flows from various perspectives. And last, JDSF will continue to educate about storage networking technology and contribute to the development of storage. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saito-san, and thank you, Sunil-san. You couldn't join us, unfortunately. But let's move on very quickly to our next speaker of the day. And he's been around from the beginning of the session, and it's quite late for him, so I really appreciate him doing that. Joining us now is Prakash Ramchandran, member and advisor at the CCICI Cloud Computing Institute of India, and he's here to speak on data management at Edge for Edge native services. Over to you, Prakash. Really sorry for the delay.
So can I, okay. You can start your video because host has stopped it. What is that? Okay, I don't need to start my video, but I can share my screen, right? Or are you going to show the, can you hear me?
You can share your screen. Otherwise, you can tell me. I can present whichever is comfortable.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's see whether I
Sure.
have start my video. Okay, and then I just flip. I think it should come. Yeah, can you see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, video is visible. Screen is not visible.
No. Yeah.
Video is okay. What did I shared, right? Start my video.
You need
Yeah,
to
that's
share
okay.
as well.
Screen share.
Share as well.
Screen share.
Screen share.
Yeah, the screen share is, oh, share the screen. Okay.
Yes, please.
Application.
You can choose
It
the
is
application or you can share your
Desktop.
desktop.
Yeah, desktop is fine. Okay. So in desktop, I say share, click and share, and then are you able to see now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you very much. And I have been following the SODACON 2020. Last day I saw the 4 keynotes. Today I actually followed everything. So I'm I am in idle mode right now. So I'm able to participate in a lot of things. I joined CCICI around a year back after I became more active after I returned from Shanghai from the OpenStack Foundation, which I represent as part of the interoperability working group. And also I'm an independent director there, board of directors, I mean. So what has been background to this data management at Edge comes from that I was part of the, you folks, you know, Huawei and FutureY, as the Edge started my Edge around 2013, I think there, with the CMU on the cloudlet. And this Edge has been eluding, even though the Akamai caches and all that became very popular, but that is only single vendor on the internet. And so what I see is there has been a very slow growth of Edge, but now it is catching up. So when I say catching up, then I have to say, what is it catching up on? So let me go to the first slide. Okay, let me just, sorry, it has gone back. I'll have to go back one. Yeah, sorry, it has gone further. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So what you see is all the projections that we see from both IDC, Forrester, and all those research, that compound annual growth rate is around 12.5%. So if I take simple, if it is at 2020, if the spending on the data is shown around, let's say 139, right? 150, let's say 150. So in 2 years, which is 2022, you will see it will hit around 200. And another 2 years, it will reach around 250. So what I am seeing is the spending growth on data is high. We are not looking at the volume of the data, but just the amount of spending that is going to be on data. So once you see that you have got currently around 150 billion, and that you are going to see doubling sorry, 100 around 100 somewhere around 150 billion, and you are going to see doubling percent approximately. So most of the garbage or the data, what we call, comes from US. Uh, that said, then the question is, where is the money being flowing into? So you see that professional service is one, which is the one which is growing at the compound annual growth rate of around 15.4%. So what you see is the amount of money that is being, that's why you can see Accenture is making money, and Kiran is able to get, sorry, Krishna is able to get hired in Seattle. The reason is very simple, because the data, professional services getting the maximum out of it. Of course, there is component which is also being are going towards the hardware and the software. So you see 46% by 2024 is going to be for professional service, and 32% and 21% are especially for hardware and software. So even though software is the one which eats everything, here the software alone cannot do everything, automation. You need professional service to go along with software as well as hardware. So the growth on professional service is higher than that of the hardware and is higher than that of the software. Now that said, what does it mean to us? So from our point of view, I have to introduce what is that I am trying to project here. I am trying to say that CCICI, which is the body industry consortium here, which was part of the IEEE previously, and it split out as Indian body to provide the uh, interoperability program. So we call it Cloud Interoperability Program, and that is 1.0 is established. And the reason why does India need anything different from others is a question which I don't have answer, but everybody wants to own something. Uh, so essentially, these started in 2012 around with ITU standards, and it evolved over a period of time. So currently it is on 1.0, and the test bed is being set up. So when we set up the test bed, we look at what do we have in the market, whereby we can do. Did we write any normative specs? No, it was all qualitative. So what do we do with respect to what we are doing? Example, if you have NICs, which has got 36 National Institute, that is, that's a NIC is a National Informatics Center of India, which has got around 30, 35, or I don't remember what the numbers are, but you can say multiple dozens are there, locations. Now, given that each location has something to do, they may be doing processing for the ID like Aadhaar, they may be doing for the health IT, they may be using for some uh, government programs. So you got a lot of government department use, including CDAC, and there are many. So assuming that these people, departments are using it, they need to have a data center. India has, NIC has around 4 zones, one main data center, which is a cloud based. So when I say cloud, I differentiate from edge. Cloud is a massive, they call it hyperscale data centers, HSDC. The terminology used in Indian government is HSDC. And IEEE also calls it, we call it hyperscaler, they call it HSDC. So you have got hyperscaler data centers where you have got massive amount of servers, 10,000 plus servers, and in 4 locations. But that does not solve the problem of delivering these services at the city level, at the district or county level, then at the taluka level. And so if you run a program, a health program, then how will you make sure that this is reaching all parts? So the department is looking to standardize. So external cloud providers have approached. Everybody wants to enter the government because that's a big money. But then government wants standardized. So we looked at the normative. So we decided on two. One NDC, DRC are the names. If you have a use case for hybrid data center, then how do you apply to this? And how do you make sure that everybody is compliant or conformant with something? So that brought us to the level of having OpenStack compliance as one, which is already there up to Victoria. In fact, uh, we only recently, yesterday or day before, only we passed the in the interop working group the guidelines for the Victoria AB A to U V. We are in the V series now. Wallaby is the next one, and so it always supports three before. That is TUV. That is the train, and what is that, Usuri and Victoria. So three, and same way Kubernetes has got its own conformers that is available for 1.19, 1.18. Generally, you have two releases which you support. So given that if you want to test something, system under test being the uh, platform, and the platform being either a OpenStack or a Kubernetes, how do you ensure that they are portable? How do you ensure they are interoperable? So platform interoperability is absolutely taken care by Kubernetes being the de facto infrastructure. Whether it is a cloud or a edge, you don't have to worry about it.
Prakash,
Mhm.
I need to interrupt you here. We are really short of time, so maybe you can make
Okay,
some
I'll close it. I'll close
yeah,
it. I
please.
don't have much. So this is what we do, Kubernetes, and then workload on top of it, and that's what we need to test. So the edge, where is the edge in the component here? Edge is from anywhere between the client device to the cloud. It is anywhere in between, and it can be near edge, far edge. It can be even an enterprise. So what applications do we provide? Mapping services, or maybe some of the public services, uh, health, IT, and all that, and financial services. So government does need this, and industry is willing to provide. How do we serve that? We serve at the edge. That means we have to have a breakout at the 4G or 5G, which is becoming the access. And then also you have connected cars, like traveling edge, we call it. So you have to maintain the SLAs and SLOs for the people to provide. And when you have data which is at the device edge, then you need to make sure that you have all the optimization, like accelerating, reducing the latency, and using the GPU, and reducing the power, and decoding, encoding, decoding, compression, all that AI, ML, and all the partitioning of microservices applications, and then leverage the edge cloud. So with this, I will just show you a picture which gives you edge, which runs from 0 millisecond up to 20 millisecond, which is the current 4G LTE advanced, which can provide. And otherwise, you have to be at the what you call the IoT gateway, which is on the left side, 0 to 5 millisecond area. And then you can go 5 to 10, because latency, that's the norm for all the edge services. How do you attain that? You optimize. And now that cloud native has come, there is a edge native service, which is what is going to, so edge is going to eat the cloud. You remember, after 10 years we'll look back and say that, okay, cloud has disappeared, now edge is taking over. And that is what will happen eventually. And therefore edge native service will overtake the cloud native services. And that's the prediction I'm willing to make. And the reason is very simple, because services are delivered at the edge in the enterprise, whether at the IoT gateway level or at the on-prem, and the consumption, and everybody sitting in the same place, and the consumption is happening at the edge. And therefore edge native service is the prediction.
Prakash,
We lost our audio. Your audio.
Prakash, we're not able to hear you.
I don't think I have seen such a tremendous impact on the data storage, data protection, etc. So with that, I will end here, and I hope I have consumed my time. It's up to you if you want to ask anything. Otherwise, I'll just.
Thank you, Prakash. Actually, there is one question which has come in.
Mhm.
Do you see some specific aspects SODA needs to focus for edge?
Sure. Definitely, SODA Foundation is trying to go beyond CSI, and the way it will work is for any edge which I am focused on. For any edge thing, you need to have schema, and so because the disappearance of the what you call the uh, schema, which used to be done using the SOAP, XML, and all that, it has to be done in a NoSQL way. So I think the focus on the data types for domain specific will be a good way. Like you did a what is it? QBedge. QBedge trying to gather data from all the toll gates and trying to put together. But the question is, it's not just the what is MQTT. That
Yeah,
can only
MQTT.
give you the protocol. Protocol will not suffice. You need to have schema for specific application and have the YAML or whatever the descriptive way of putting it, and then use the Kubernetes with the what is called custom resource, and be able to expand the API for what you need for specific application, be peer-to-peer, maybe distributed, whatever, that is what will help. So SODA Foundation needs to focus on the uh, descriptive way of describing the data, whether it's a file object, whether it's a raw blob, whatever. So that's the key.
Right. Thank you so much, Prakash, for sharing your time. And again, apologies for the delay. I know it's quite late for you there.
No problem.
I think there was a lot of information which people were very happy to see and probably surprised as well. And thank you for your suggestions for SODA.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, let's move on to the next topic for the day. And we've all heard about the Disney movie Mulan, but well, have you heard about the Mulan open source license? We have with us Liu Yang, Director of Research Office CCICI, with an introduction to CCICI and its collaborative efforts in data storage and standardization, and the Mulan open source license. Over to you, Liu.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Liu Yang from China Electronic Standardization.
Liu, your volume is very low. If you could just increase the sound.
Okay, I can share my.
The sound of your voice. Can you increase the volume of your mic?
Okay. How about now? Can you hear
Better?
me?
Yes.
It's better.
Better.
I share my screen. Just a moment.
Do you want us to share the slides for you? We can do that.
Okay, if you can help.
Yes,
me
Ashit,
share.
could you please just share the slides, and you can verbally tell us to move to the next slide whenever you need
Okay.
it.
Sure. Can you see the screen?
Okay, I can see.
Yes, Ashit.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, my slides template is just a little different with the other ones.
Can you make it full screen, Ashit? Because right now it's probably just open the file from your desktop rather than in Google.
Okay. Just
Ashit, you want me to share?
Yeah, I'm just opening. Just give me a minute.
Fine.
Okay, so I think
Leon, if you have the slides ready, you can share as well.
I can share, Anvit.
Okay,
you want.
Asan, you can go ahead then.
Okay.
Maybe something wrong with my computer. I can't
It's
share
all
my
right. It's all
screen.
right.
You're able to see my desk thing?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
sir.
see.
Can you just
Yes, I
can you go to full screen maybe?
1 second. Oh,
A full screen mode. Control L.
1 second. Is okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Liu Yang from China Electronic Standardization Institute, or CCICI for short. It's my honor to be invited by SODA Foundation and give a presentation. And today, I would like to share with you our working on promoting open source license. The next page, please. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to give a brief introduction to CCICI. CCICI is an institute directly under the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology of China, which specializes in the standardization of electronics information technology. We maintain good working relationships with standardization organizations such as ISO, IEC, IEEE, and open source organizations such as OpenStack Foundation, Linux Foundation, and SODA Foundation around the world. Next page, please. As early as 2006, we started to pay attention to and promote the standardization and testing work in the field of open source and established LSB joint testing labs with Intel and other companies in China to advance the standardization work on related open source software. In recent years, we have made rapid progress in open source work. We have successfully promoted the establishment of China Open Source Cloud League, COSCO for short, and Mulan Open Source Community. At the same time, we are also carrying out research on open source license and open source technology standardization. Next page, please. And so why do we work on Mulan open source license? On the one hand, the open source license is the cornerstone of the open source software movement. And we
Leon,
hope to,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you please increase the volume of your microphone? Some of the attendees are unable to hear you very clearly.
Okay.
In Zoom, sometimes there is. In Zoom, sometimes the auto volume adjuster will reduce your volume.
Okay. It's not right. Can this work? Can you hear me?
Yes, we'll just take a look. If you can continue now. If we face any problems, I'll let you know. Thank you.
Okay.
You can continue.
It's better now. It's better now. Yes, please.
Okay. And I'll continue. And we hope to invite more Chinese forces can contribute to the movement, to the open source software movement. And on the other hand, we are driven by the development needs of technology and market. As you can see, Chinese companies have contributed more and more to the research and development of open source technology in recent years. At the same time, China has a large and broad application market. In combination with the requirements of Chinese developers in the application of open source protocol, we developed a Chinese version of open source license with legal effect to reduce the different difficulties and risks of developers in application. The next page, please. After sorting out more than 80 existing open source license and systematically studying the license types and frameworks, we released Mulan PSL version 1 in 2019 and widely solicited opinions from China's open source industry. At the same time, we submission to OSI for approval. In February this year, we released Mulan PSL version 2, the first bilingual license in both Chinese and English in the world, after being certified by OSI. And in April this year, the Apache Foundation announced Apache license version 2 is certified compatible with Mulan PSL version 2. And Mulan PSL version 2 is led by CCICI and Peking University and jointly drafted by Huawei, China Mobile, and other enterprise. The copyright of Mulan PSL belongs to Costco. Next page, please. The characteristic of Mulan PSL are as follows. Firstly, it is expressed in both Chinese and English, which has the same legal effect. Secondly, it clearly grants copyright and patent and does not grant trademark. Thirdly, it adheres to the principle of concise expression and is easy to understand. Fourthly, it is very friendly and compatible with existing license. In the world, Mulan PSL is concise, easy to understand, and business friendly. Next page, please. Next page. Thank you. Thank you. We have compared Mulan PSL with popular license of the same categories, such as BSD3 clause and Apache license version 2, including declaration, obligation, patent, restrictions on users' patent protection, copyright, trademark, and language. They are relatively professional, and I will not introduce here. So the next page, please. And I'm going to talk briefly about how to use Mulan PSL. Please, next page, please. I introduce how to use Mulan PSL. The arrows on this chart are permissive to the left and more. Last page, please. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, the arrows on this chart are permissive to the left and more infectious to the right, while Mulan PSL version 2 is between Apache license version 2 and BSD3 clause. When distributing under the Mulan PSL, the cases are recommended to be divided into types. If you have a completely original open source project and want a permissive license, you can choose Mulan PSL directly. If you have non-original open source project, there are two cases. One is license compatibility, and you can select license by model. The other is that there is no license compatibility issue, and Mulan PSL can be applied directly. So the next page, please. We have counted the current applications of Mulan PSL, excluding duplicate data from some open source project mirrored on GitHub and Gitee. There are currently more than 10,000 open source projects in China applied Mulan PSL, and it is supported by Linux Foundation, Apache Foundation, Huawei, Alibaba, and so on. The open source projects involve cloud computing, big data, AI, operating systems, database, and other types. We look forward to Mulan PSL serving open source projects and open source communities around the world, and to helping them attract developers and develop the technology ecosystem in China. So the next page, please. Click on the link below and you can visit Mulan PSL and OSI and to confirm the compatibility with Apache license version 2 if you're interested in them. And the next page, here are my email. Next page, thank you. Here are my email and WeChat QR code. And if you you can contact me if to share more ideas. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leon. It was indeed a pleasure to know more about the Mulan open source license. It's always interesting to see what new licenses do come out because we've had so many, and it's good to see that there is some collaboration and overlap with new open source licenses. So looking forward to explore more on the Mulan open source license. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.